Hi, good morning everyone. We've got some exciting news at Imaginables. We've received our first shipment of the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect. We've got it here right now. This is the first shipment into Australia. So some of our pre-orders have already been shipped out earlier this week. But what we're going to do today is have a look at unboxing the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect, the brand new and latest addition to the Ultimaker family. And also we have the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect Air Manager. So we'll show you how to fit that all together and show the different components of the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect. If you are looking for an Ultimaker 3D printer and think that the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect is the right printer for you, feel free to contact us or any of our resellers. We've got a number of resellers across Australia that can assist you. Here are some of our resellers here. So as you can see, we've got quite a number of resellers across Australia, and feel free to reach out to any of them, or if you like, you can reach out to us as well. We're all quite experienced and knowledgeable with the Ultimaker line of 3D printers. So if you can tell us what your needs are, what you're planning to print with it, how you intend to use it, we can try and match the right 3D printer that is perfect for your needs. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into unboxing the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect. First, let's just put this away first and get into unboxing this baby here. It does say here that do not open here on top. Please release the clips and remove the packaging. So what it's saying is it's referring to these clips down here below. However, from my understanding, there are some accessory boxes on top here. So what I like to do is just take out the accessory box from the top first, and then we can release the clips. So let's open this up. So in here, we've got our Australian power cables. We've got a safety and warranty information here, booklet. This is our quick start guide for the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect. It comes in different languages as well. You get a roll of PLA metallic, silver metallic. That's 750 grams. And here you have your accessory box. In the accessory box, you've got your glass bed, calibration card. So here also we've got a bottle of machine oil. This is required to lubricate your X and Y axles, and also your Z axle. We recommend to lubricate this at least every three months. This ensures that it runs nice and smooth, and also it reduces the strain on your stepper motors. So very good to keep that maintenance schedule of lubricating your rods. There's also some additional bits here. You've got your glue stick, Magnalube. This Magnalube is for your Z screw on your 3D printer. We've got a little tool to change nozzles, a little Allen key, a USB stick here, calibration for your 3D print head, and an extra 0.4 nozzle. Additionally, we have the spool holder, your Ethernet cable, and a screwdriver. In the box as well, there is a Meanwell power adapter here. So that's what's in the accessory box. So next, let's just fold this back up. We want to release these clips here. There you go. The new Ultimaker 2 Connect. So let's get this baby off. Now when you're lifting your Ultimaker 2 Connect, make sure when you lift it you don't hold on to the timing belts here, you hold it by the frame. So I just want to show you the difference between the Ultimaker 2 Connect and the original Ultimaker 2 Plus. This is our showroom Ultimaker 2 Plus. I think we've had it for about 4 years and it's still, running pretty well. Yeah, it's still a great workhorse for basic 3D printing. So you can see that the size is pretty much identical. There's a few little design changes. Before you had the little turn dial which controlled this LCD screen and SD card, and now you have this nice new touchscreen which is the colored touchscreen as well, and this normal SD card is a USB reader, which is great. We've got the new print head. It's basically the same design, but they're using a more robust molded plastic here. Previously it was black, they've changed to a different material. This is more heat resistant and more durable. The slider blocks, these are the slider blocks here. These slider blocks are made from the same material as well, more robust. And generally there's a overall more use of white in the design. If we go to the back, you can see that it's using a very similar feeder system to the S-line. So it's a lever here. Before you had to lift it up, and can be a little bit difficult when you're putting in your filament, but this is more ergonomic design. Looks like the same as the S-line feeders. The only thing is that it doesn't have a flow sensor like the S-line. So you've got here your connection to the Ethernet, and this here, this is the connection to the air manager. So your Ultimaker 2 Connect will be able to communicate with your air manager when we plug this in. Now, when you start up the printer, you'll be greeted with this image, the Ultimaker 2 Connect. This will be there for about maybe 1.5 minutes, and from there it will tell you some instructions on how to update your firmware. To update the firmware, all you need to do is visit ultimaker.com firmware and follow the instructions for the Ultimaker 2 Connect firmware install. So as you can see, the screen has changed and you'll be greeted with this message. Now, just a reminder, this is only for the first batch of Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect. Later batches will have the firmware pre-installed. So I've gone and downloaded the latest firmware from the ultimaker.com website. It tells you to download an image file. The image file is about, say, around 19 megabytes. Just load it onto your USB, but make sure you don't change the file name or any of the extensions. Just load that onto your root directory of your USB. So once you put your USB in the USB slot, make sure you do that when the power is off. Turn it on and just let that firmware install itself. It says the update will take about plus or minus 15 minutes. Make sure you don't turn off the printer or unplug the USB drive. Just leave it to install the latest firmware. The latest firmware right now is version 1.2. So once the firmware is installed, you will be greeted with a message like this, welcoming you to the setup, and it encourages you to go to ultimaker.com and register your printer with the serial number. And you can also, from registering your printer, you can also access the Ultimaker Online Academy. This will provide you some training for the use of your Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect. So let's go and go to main menu. This is what you'll be greeted with, and this is a basic setup. You've got ready to print, you've got material. This is where you select change material, unload, load material. You've got maintenance. This is where you can set your nozzle temperature. If you change to a different size nozzle, you can select change nozzle size, move build plate, and diagnostics and leveling build plate. So once in a while you'll need to do a level the build plate to make sure that your nozzle and your glass bed is level. That's very important when you're starting off your print. It's also here under settings, you've got update firmware, network configuration, connection to digital factory. You can adjust the frame light, and you can do a factory reset. So let's go on to unboxing the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect Air Manager. Let's open this up. Right on top, we've got the Air Manager unit. So that's the Air Manager unit here. We've got instructions for the Air Manager. Let's put this aside first. We've got all this foam packaging. In here, we've got the front door. Some more foam packaging. And this is your HEPA filter replacement. So this is a consumable. It's good for 1500 hours, and when it's time to replace the filter, the printer will let you know and recommend you to replace the filter. So that's 1500 hours. That's about 1 year's worth of printing for a regular user. We've got some cable secure clips here. And then the main top portion of the air manager. So here is the air manager unit. We're going to install it onto the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect. So this goes behind here. There's a little slot for the cable to go through, and just line it into place. So you want to push down the filter housing until it snaps into place. There's a little toggle in the middle here, just make sure that's firmly there, and that shouldn't move. Next we get the filter itself. Grab it from the plastic, and it should be this way up, and just slide that into place. That's in there. There's a cable at the back. Connect that to that port. And then you've got that top molding. Just put it in there. So that's how we fit the top. If you want to remove the top, very easily you just take that off. It's not hinged like the Ultimaker S5 Air Manager. It's just sits snug on top there. Then we've got the front door. There's some protective sheeting on the cover, so just need to peel that off. To put on the front cover, you tilt it first, rest it on the bottom, and that should fit there. And if you want to place this out somewhere, you can just put it up and rest it up there. There you go. That's the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect and also the 2 Plus Connect Air Manager. I'm gonna get this new printer printing. I've got my roll of filament here. When you are loading the filament, it's good to use a pair of pliers, wire cutters, and snip it such that you got a kind of a V shape, very much like that, if you can see. So now we go to materials, load material, start loading material. We're loading PLA, so yes. So right now it's heating up the nozzle. The printhead has moved to the center in the middle, and it's just heating up. And once it's ready, it will start loading the material from the back. You can hear the fans starting up. You can see a little bit of the molten plastic kind of coming through. Now that plastic, although the material hasn't actually loaded to the printhead, that was material that was left from when they did the print test before they leave the factory floor in Netherlands. So it tells you open the feeder lever, position the spool on the holder, push the new material all the way up to the nozzle, and close the feeder. So this is slightly different. It's from Ultimaker 2 Plus users. Before you kind of just let the machine load it itself, but with this new procedure, what you do is lift that lever and just slide it all the way to the end until you can't push no more, and lock that down into place. So that's loaded. Now it'll say, please confirm when the material is extruding from the nozzle. You can see the material is already extruding. So I click material extruding. It'll park itself to the side. Let's get rid of that. So it'll say, warning, hot nozzle, please wait for the cool down. So just wait for it to cool down. There's a skip cool down if you're impatient. So before we start printing, we want to level the build plate. So to do that, we go to maintenance and go to level build plate. It'll give you some instructions. It'll take about 5 minutes. Start leveling the build plate. Keep your hands free because it's going to be moving. So that's going to raise up. And you want to get your calibration card, which it comes with your printer. And we'll place the calibration card underneath. So what you're looking for is kind of a little bit of friction, but for it to move freely still. So it's a little bit tight. I'll just take off the cover so that we can get access to that better. So it's a little bit tight. There's 3 thumb screws below the print bed. Just go to the rear one and tighten it until we get about kind of this sort of you can feel the friction on the calibration card, but it still moves freely. You can see I'm moving the print calibration card here, and then click done adjusting the rear one. We'll go to the corner, do the same for here. Now this here feels a bit loose, so we'll loosen the spring, the thumb screw here a little bit until we get that same sort of scratchy feel between the calibration card and the nozzle. There you go, that's about right. Move that calibration card to the next. Continue. Goes to the other corner. This one's loose as well. So loosen that. And that's about right. So after you did that first bit, it'll ask you to double check the level again. So just double check everything's okay. Done adjusting. So that's how you level your build plate. Let's return to the maintenance menu. And we're ready to print. So what I've done is I've just picked a simple test print on my computer, and I loaded a simple 30 by 30 cube, which I'll do a test print of now. So select USB, and then that's my file there. And gives you a little preview of what that file is. So now it's preheating the build plate and processing the file. Oh yes, I forgot. We need to apply some glue stick. Just get your Yoo-hoo glue stick that came with the printer and just apply a little bit on the area where you're going to print. I know it's going to be somewhere in the center, so just apply that a bit. This glue stick not only helps it to stick onto the glass bit, but if you're printing things like ABS or CP or PETG, it does help protect your glass bit so that it doesn't stick too well. So once it starts reaching the temperatures, you'll hear a few fans coming on. The first might be the HEPA filter. That fan starts to turn on. Then once the heated bed gets to the correct temperature, it will then trigger the nozzle to heat up. And when the nozzle starts heating up, usually about once it gets past 100 degrees, the rear fan of the print head will start spinning. This rear fan helps cool this heat sink, and this helps cool the filament, ensuring that the heat remains at the nozzle and doesn't travel up the print head. So this plastic here is called the TFM Coupler. That provides an insulation for the filament, and usually that's one of the things that wear out in the printer first. I believe print hours for it's meant to last for 1200 hours of printing. So you'll see here it starts spitting out the material. That's a good sign that the nozzle is nice and clean. We kind of call it the poop stage. And then you'll see that it starts with printing the print. Just notice how it's printing, making sure that it's nice and even, the flow is nice and smooth. If you've got the leveling wrong in the first part, you can actually maybe adjust it just a little bit just to get that flow right. But right now it's printing well. That's the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect and the Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect Air Manager. We hope you found this video informative and help you in setting up your new Ultimaker 2 Plus Connect. Thank you for your time and wish you a good day. See you.